Hi, welcome to the last lesson of the course Creativity, Adaptability and Leadership. In this last lesson, we will try to provide some examples of leadership and also of creativity in action. As you know, there are many examples of successful entrepreneurs. Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Lively, etc. There are many people who have worked in creating new ideas, adjust solutions, and developed activities in many areas. For example, Elon Musk in innovation, Mark Zuckerberg in the social media, and Lively in the fashion industry. But this is also possible with a social perspective. Bill Drayton in Ashoka is an example that tried to promote change makers, and also the Grameen Bank, Muhammad Yunus, it's the Bank of Poor, and Novogratz with Acumen, that it is a funding that tried to promote no lucrative initiatives to make the life of people better. So it is possible to make this kind of entrepreneurship with this mindset. Another example is Tom's. It is a company that emerged after a journey to Argentina where the founder found that people has no shoes. And now the philosophy is you buy a pair of shoes of my company, a person that need it will receive it. So we should keep this in mind. It is possible to make a new startups and new companies with this social mindset. But either social or more lucrative approach, we would like to recommend a series of business model keys. That the first idea is, please always keep in mind that you should identify no satisfied needs for customers in a certain market. Once it is identified, try to develop and deploy a service or product viable, and with a price that can be able to tend to the different targets. That is the people who wants to buy it. Later, you can implement, you can modify your business model, but always taking into account to have this continuous evaluation of what is doing well, what is doing bad, to adjust the strategy. But some ideas for the strategies. First, start by the middle. Let's think what the majority of people would like to receive. Also, reflect on the unique benefits you will provide. For example, affordability or accessibility could be two examples. Later we will see and we'll reflect on that in different case studies. You should be able also to integrate elements, analyze the customer value proposal. Also, you should define the benefits formula, because the incomes should be higher than the costs, and that is revenue larger than cost. And establish the core processes you need to deploy. And finally, identify which are the necessary resources to develop this before applying in the operational plan. And try always to integrate these ideas in your business. Of course, you can resort to the business model canvas, or you can attend it through different ways. Here you have an example of the business model canvas. There could be a very specific lesson about it. For example, it is core here to attend the value propositions, but also key partners, key activities, but always taking in mind the cost and the revenue streams. And I would like to put an example. This is an example of the Grodaian boys in India. Happened that only the 18% of population in rural areas has fridge. So they developed a research group, a working group, and they found the initial salary. It is about $125 until $200, and people living 4 or 5 persons in their families, and they have options, communal fridge, but there are problems with electricity, and they only need to preserve some food that was not consumed during the meals. So they were thinking on that. They make this question: is the type of use adequate to pay usual fridge? And they prepare the chotu-cool. The chotu-cool, it is a very small fridge with 1.5 and 2 feet and 43 liters of capacity. And it is much cheaper. It has autonomy in the refrigeration, and it was a success. So sometimes when we have the mindset limited to what we know in the world, we cannot evolve. And this is an example. But not only. For example, Aravind Eye hospitals in India also, they have developed a lot of interventions to favor the vision of the Indian people, especially poor people with many attentions to cataracts. Or M-Pesa in Africa, developed by Vodafone, and that make it possible and affordable, easy to reach, accessible the money from others, as there is now cash machines in the region. So we should keep in mind, and please, the limit is the imagination, and among all, we should make a better future, a sustainable future, environmentally friendly, but also socially accessible and economically dynamic. So thank you, and please take into account the booklet and all activities in this course. Thank you very much.